Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Seb Talks Sports, sponsored by Hoopin and Luton, the place to go to for your favourite new and vintage jerseys and apparel from all things basketball. My guest today on Seb Talks Sports is a very special one indeed. The very best dual threat running back currently playing in the NFL, who recorded no fewer than 38 touchdowns over his last two regular seasons in Los Angeles. A man who needs no further introduction, it's Chargers star Austin Ekeler. Enjoy! My guest today is one of the very best running backs currently taking the NFL by storm. Having already racked up over 7,000 yards from scrimmage over a 6-year career to date, it's an absolute pleasure to say that Mr. Austin Ekeler joins me on Seb Talks Sports. Mr. Ekeler, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Very, very welcome. Thank you very much for joining me.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's start with your college career. The college career at Western State, or Western Colorado, as the school is now known, saw you top 5,800 yards on the ground and 1,300 yards through the air, where you undoubtedly proved yourself as a dual threat back. But as a Div 2 school meant you were seriously overlooked in the 2017 NFL draft. You went undrafted and have now joined a list featuring Marion Motley, Joe Perry, Arian Foster, and Priest Holmes as some of the best ever undrafted free agent rushers. So I'd love to know, did that status as an undrafted player give you a chip on your shoulder when entering the league in 2017?
Yeah, from my perspective, I don't think I was overlooked coming out of college because I was from a really tiny school. So my school wasn't producing NFL players at all. I think I was the first one to ever make it to the NFL. And knowing that, even though I did have a pretty good career, I knew it was going to be, there was going to be a lot of odds stacked against me as far as the exposure that my school was going to be able to get. However, the NFL puts a lot of resources into finding people like me that might not be at bigger schools that are more notable as far as putting people in the NFL. And so for me, I was expecting to be undrafted, and sure enough, I was. Luckily, I was able to still have an opportunity to participate in the Chargers camp. I was picked up as a free agent. And, for me, I knew that it was going to be uphill. I knew I had everything to prove. And I put myself in a position mentally where I was like, okay, like that's what I'm going to dive into. I'm going to dive into making sure that I put everything possibly that I can into this, and not just figuratively and saying that, as a cliche, but I dropped out of school and put all my efforts into training for this opportunity to go and make the Chargers.
Fantastic. And look where you are today. I mean, it's obviously proven well. So, doing very, very well. Just on the Chargers, your time on the Chargers so far, seeing the organisation and the situation around you undergo a lot of change both on and off the field. To date, you've had 2 different head coaches, 3 different starting quarterbacks, 3 different running backs coaches, 4 different offensive coordinators. And of course, the franchise had just moved from San Diego to LA for the first time since 1960, the inaugural season of the franchise. So a lot of change happening all over the place, really. But as an elite level NFL player, how do you best manage and cope with change, particularly when it comes to learning a new offensive scheme?
Yeah, I think as humans, we have to be in situations where we have to adapt to change just in general, going through life and in our jobs, in our personal lives, in our education. And it's something that us as humans just have to deal with just because of the nature of our being, the nature of living. That is what life is. You have to adapt. And those that can adapt more quickly and more efficiently tend to do better. And there's a lot of skills that go into that. Absolutely. But, being able to handle change is something that we have to do. And it's no different in the NFL. For us, you try to be as consistent as you possibly can, continuing to add value to your organization. And then guess what? Everyone's doing that. And, changes are made because results maybe are not met. And, some people maybe just, the business didn't work out. And so, they weren't able to stay any longer. For the most part, though, change is going to happen. Changes always happen. And you get used to it, especially in the sports world, because it's forever moving, not only from different leagues, right? Going from high school to college to NFL, but different coaches, different teammates along the way, injuries, like all these different factors that play into being an athlete, being a human, also play themselves out in my profession. And I love it. I think it's amazing because it does challenge you. And for me, something that I really love is, we were talking before, is I love challenges. We were talking about training camp. Challenges are something that I look forward to because it's an opportunity for you to scale your capabilities. And if you're able to scale your capabilities, like being adaptable, then guess what? You're going to be able to take on a lot more responsibility. You're going to find more consistency within your life. If you can do that, you're going to start scaling yourself as a human and being able to do and impact more people, including yourself. So for me, I love it. I love the ever-changing landscape because for me, I think it's an option and an opportunity to fulfill my life and keep changing and keep showing me that, I can be a stronger person.
Absolutely. Very well said. So very recently at the time of recording, we've seen the release of the most recent installment of the NFL's annual Top 100 series. Your very first inclusion on the list came last offseason where you ranked 46th, but this year you've done a whole lot better, improving by 25 spots to be named number 21 as a list devised solely on the rankings of NFL players by NFL players. How much does that accolade mean to you, given that you were placed there by your peers, essentially as the 21st best player in the league?
Going into the seasons, you don't really think about things like that because you just really focus on playing. But it's always nice to get some recognition, especially from your peers that you're playing against. And so I'm very fortunate for that rating and for that ranking and for, the rest of my teammates in the league to be, thinking so highly of me. It's just a credit to all the hard work that we put in as players to come out and have things like that, where it's like we can actually, rank each other and, say good job basically to our other teammates and, maybe not our teammates, but people across the league, our other brothers. And so to have that ranking is something that I know that I'll look back on, when I'm retired and see, like, look at my progression through the league. I started out as a 6th-string running back. And then at one point up to this point anyway, have been ranked, number 21 in the top 100 list and, looking to add on some spots onto that within this year as well.
Brilliant stuff. Very well deserved spot. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the great work you've done off the field as well. So in 2020, you formed the Austin Ekeler Foundation, which is devoted to creating opportunities for people with limited opportunities and to fulfill their passions. And then in 2022, you created the Eksperience app, which is an engagement platform that lets talent and creators offer custom and unique interactions to members of their communities. So what is it that initially sparked your interest in giving back through these ventures, and what plans do you have for both platforms in the next 5 years?
Great questions. For me, as you could tell when I was talking, like I really love challenges and I love what it does to people, right? For me, I love that it continues to help me expand my capabilities. And that's where you see these off-field adventures really start to pick up for me, because just playing football is one of my opportunities that I use to express these challenges, right? Let me go and compete against other people. Let me try to play a sport at a high level. But what about off the field? Well, now I'm starting to learn about, different ways to impact people and what is important to people. And I know what impacted me when I was younger was having opportunities to go out and do things. And one of those things was getting to the weight room. And being in the weight room, especially at a young age, taught me a lot of transferable skills that I still use to this day, as far as hard work, mental toughness, how to push myself, why health is important. And those things have been transferred, to my entire football career. And so for me, I wanted to provide those into communities that maybe had run down weight rooms or weight rooms that maybe were outdated or non-existent. So for me, that was one opportunity that I wanted to get back through my foundation. And then that kind of leads into Eksperience, where it was like maybe people that don't need necessarily a weight room, but still want access to me, want to talk to me, want to interact with me, or not just me, but other influential people that they like or look up to. There's limited access to us because of, safety reasons, our time. And so I was like, but for me, it's not that I don't want to interact. It's just I want to do it on my own terms. And so I wanted to create a platform where influential people could interact with their fans, but on their own terms in their own way. So with Eksperience right now, if you look it up online, it's spelled EKSP. It's like on my last name, X, EKXP, and then Eksperience at the end. It's a way for people to get access to me. And what I've seen, I've done, hundreds now of interactions. People are so very thankful for the opportunity to even, just get a comment from me, on social media. Or right now I'm doing, fantasy football, trash talk, fantasy football. I'll announce your starting lineup and randomize it for you. So different interactive things that are awesome and that I can do for me that take, 30 seconds, but for them will be a whole story that they'll, will live on. And that's a saying that I like to say is that, us as influential people, if you do have, and people that look up to you, your legacy lives within the memories of those people. And so I want to make sure that I'm, continuing to make some type of impact in people's lives other than just football.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin, we're going to end with some quick fire questions. You ready?
All right. What you got?
Let's do it. Okay, starting with favorite takeout food.
Favorite takeout food? Wow, that's a great question. Spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, okay, nice choice. Okay, dogs or cats?
I'm not an animal person. I don't
Okay.
have a lot of room for animals in my life. But if I were to have one, it'd definitely be a dog.
Favorite music artist?
Wow, it depends on my mood because I go between like heavy metal, I can go
Oh,
between rap. There's some EDM mixed in there too. Oh man, who do I want to go with though? Let's go Metallica.
there we go. Plenty of guitar in there as well for your
Yeah,
celebration.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it in the background right here. Yeah, for sure. There it is. There it is.
Hey, nice. I didn't know you played. You play?
Yeah, I've been playing for like 8 months now.
Wow, there we go. How's it going?
It's very difficult. It's like learning how to walk, but if walking was, sprinting backwards, so it's a long journey.
Yeah, it's a long road. You'll get there. You'll get there. Did you ever have a welcome to the NFL moment? And if so, who gave it to you?
I never really had one. It was more of a journey because for me, I never even thought of the NFL. Like I was going into the business world, and for me, it was never like after college, I'm gonna go play football in the NFL. Like that was like a dream. Like sure, maybe that could happen, but I'm really just trying to focus on building myself up, and getting an opportunity in my education. And I was able to build myself up enough to get an opportunity to play in the NFL. And so I guess my entire rookie season was like my welcome to the NFL moment because there was so many opportunities and so many situations where it didn't feel like I was out of place, but it felt like everything was against me, but I'm trying as hard as I possibly can to make it work. And so going through that experience was like, welcome to the NFL because you have to continue to prove yourself day in and day out. And if you can, guess what? You're going to move yourself up. And now you see me here 7 years later. So my rookie year.
That's a good answer. Okay, your first car.
My first car, actually, I bought it after I got a couple game checks from my rookie year. It was a Chrysler 300. I still have it to this day, 6 years later.
Nice. Okay. You're one of, if not the best, obviously, dual threat running backs in the league currently. So, in your opinion, just how important is that versatility at your position, particularly in the year 2023?
You heard me talk about adaptability, a little bit ago. And when you're able to adapt when your team needs you to run or catch 107 passes like I did last year because we had some receivers hurt, then guess what? If you can do that and still produce at a consistent rate, then you're probably going to have a lot of stickiness in the NFL. And I think that's why I've been around as long as I have, is because I've been able to be consistent and be versatile, right? I can catch the ball, I can run the ball, I can do them both for you, and at a pretty high level. And so for me, I think it's imperative, but also I think if you're really, really, really good at just one thing, that also can get you by. There's different types of runners in the NFL. That's why running back's pretty unique position because there's differences in us. Like Derrick Henry, for instance, is 6'3", 250. Then you have me, who's 5'8", 195. Like we look very different if you put us next to each other, but we play the same position. And so even if you're not versatile, where you can play a bunch of different positions, if you're really good at one thing, then that can also help you out too.
Well said. Okay, hardest worker in the Chargers weight room.
I mean, I can't not say myself. Because I live in the weight room, and not only that, I'm building weight rooms for America out here. So I'm doing my best to continue to get people in there. So I'm going to say myself for sure.
There you go. Good answer. I like that. Okay, funniest teammate you've ever had?
Wow, I've had a few funny teammates. Last year, he's not like a huge superstar, but Brendan Fehoko, one of our DNs, is very funny. Corey Lindsley, our center right now, is actually like dry humor funny. I like to say like I got some humor to me as well, in the locker room, but yeah, we'll go with those two. Okay,
best locker room prank you've ever seen?
Oh my goodness, maybe I should have put Derek in there, but my rookie year, we get drug tested quite often, and you either have to provide a urine sample or you get a blood test. And I don't know any better, so one of my teammates, Derek Watt, he had this scheme, and he had I was in the corner in the locker room, and he got all the people in the corner of the locker room to convince me that they do a poop test for our drugs. And I don't know, I'm a rookie. I'm like, okay, like what? Like this is maybe something that they do. So Derek Watt and a couple of my teammates actually convinced me that there was a poop test that you had to go and poop in a tray and then turn it into so that was a bad one, but yeah.
I love it. That's brilliant. Okay, as you might be able to see behind me, full disclosure, I'm a Jags fan. So obviously the two of us will have slightly different experiences with regards to that playoff game last season. As a player and a team, how do you pick yourself up from a loss like that going forward?
I mean, you have no choice. Yeah, right. It's like life. You get punched in the face. I don't care how hard. If you don't get up, then guess what? You're gonna get crumpled and you're gonna get, drug across the rug and you're gonna be gone. You're not gonna be relevant. So we're not gonna let that happen. We're competitors. Guess what? Even if we gave up the worst loss or whatever it is, as a competitor, you have to learn from it. As long as you learn from it, put it behind you and move on. I think you're in a position where maybe not even control whether it happens again or not, and you can do everything you can to try to prevent that. But guess what? It's not going to be the last time we give up a lead. I'm a competitor. It's a very competitive sport. And so I'm not sitting here saying, oh, poor us, poor me. No, I'm getting up and I'm going back to work and going to try to be even better so that I'm out of positions like that in the future. And hopefully we can finish off that game. But yeah, no, shout out to the Jags. They fought in there. They're competitors too. You got to think of it from their angle. They were down so much and just kept fighting and came back. And that's what we do as competitors. We keep fighting. When you want to tap out, throw in the towel, then that's time for you to hang it up. But I'm not at that point in my career yet. So I'm going to come back, keep fighting.
Absolutely. And let the record state that Austin did obviously score 2 touchdowns in that game. So that should be remembered. And finally, what will the Los Angeles Chargers regular season record be for the 2023 NFL season?
Hopefully 1-0. That's as far out as I can look. 1-0. We got Miami coming up first. That's what we're looking forward to every single week. As a fan, you look at it kind of in a whole season play. As a player, I'm not even looking at the first game. I'm looking at the next practice. I got to learn the offense first before I even think about winning games. And so it's a little different from a fan to a player point of view. So for me, I can't even speak on that, but just trying to go 1-0.
That's it. I want to know every week. Hopefully that's the goal.
Right. That's right.
Austin, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute honor having you join me as a guest on my podcast. And of course, best of luck for the upcoming season. Where can people find you on social media? Check out your foundation and the Eksperience app, as well as anything else you currently have going on.
Yeah, all the things that I have going on at austinekeler.com. You can catch a bio of all my stuff there. And then also it's on Austin Ekeler on Instagram. No space, just my name. And so, yeah, you can check us out, austinekeler.com or Austin Ekeler on Instagram.
Wonderful stuff. Austin, once again, thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well, man.
And there he goes, the fantastic Mr. Austin Ekeler. From his status as an undrafted free agent in 2017 to taking the league by storm as one of the NFL's top tier rushers at present, it's been an incredible journey for Austin so far, and I cannot wait to see what his future holds. Hopefully he now knows not to trust Derek Watt when it comes to being drug tested. If you'd like to keep up to date with Austin on his social media channels, as well as check out his brilliant foundation and the Eksperience app, then you can do so by heading to the links in the description of this episode. I've got many more great guests coming very soon, so stay tuned right here on Seb Talks Sports. Catch you soon, guys.